pivots and then says that Jesus Christ was a shaman just like him. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like no way, shape, or form. This dude is part of a whole network of occultist, like phenomenology, Barry Rossi, and really, it's Jewish. It sincerely is Jewish mysticism. It's a whole perversion. That at the end of the day, it's a humiliation ritual that leads to a unification ritual. Um, for the Antichrist to come on the scene. I personally, this is why I'm saying that I am ceding this fifth generational warfare ground. I don't want it no more. There's no winning because the more that I get into this line of thinking, I'm looking for the Antichrist more than Christ. And really, like, I'm just going to be looking for Christ. That's what it means to be like the virgins, to have
Amen.
your oil. Be looking for that because we're not appointed for wrath. There are people that are appointed for wrath, and they know very well that they're appointed for wrath. Maybe in their heart of hearts, they think they can't renounce their rights because they've done X amount of thing, and they would rather die a dishonorable death. I don't think so. I think that there's more than enough grace for everybody involved, and that's just really it. Like, I think that that's the real war that exists, and that's Jesus Christ, the Lamb who was slain before the foundation of the earth, whose elect will not be fooled. And with that, Jacob, if you could please tell me how in one breath you could say that, be careful what shamans that you do this with because you might wake up sodomized, and then the next breath you want to compare yourself as a shaman to Jesus Christ. Like, what?
Okay, so hi. Um next I don't know. I don't remember comparing myself to Jesus.
Plus, what's up with the
Um
earrings, the spiral
okay.
earrings?
Um I remember saying that I believe that Jesus was like the ultimate shaman,
Tele's
and if you
connection?
look, I'll answer
Nobody
your
talking?
question. Trust me, believe me, just don't interrupt me, okay?
I
Um
don't think he can hear you. I don't think he can hear you, Jake.
oh, okay.
Yeah, I dropped him down. I'm bringing him
Oh,
back up.
okay.
You're good, Jake.
So,
Continue.
Yeah, Jake is speaking, so guys just be quiet and let him speak for 1 minute. Thank you, Jake.
you're welcome. So, if you look into the work of John Allegro and his book, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, which was like largely a decoding of the Nag Hammadi library, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and Christian Gnostic traditions, which were largely actually the fundamental basis of Christianity in the beginning. But they were, he was an Aramaic scholar for over 20 years, a world renowned Aramaic scholar, and then he wrote these books, or this book, The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross, and basically said that either Jesus of Nazareth was code for psychedelic mushrooms, or Jesus himself was consuming psychedelic mushrooms. And if you look into the work of Greg Braden and his study into the history of Yeshua, this is his real name, it actually means Joshua, but Yeshua, he actually was in a scene. And a scene is like a desert wandering nomadic hippie group. It's like the lowest caste of the Hebrew caste system, and they do in many ways hold on to the ancient desert wandering like nomadic traditions, what one could consider the shamanic traditions of the ancient Hebrews. Now, what you got to understand about Judaism is that Judaism is largely a conglomeration or like a consolidation of a bunch of Mesopotamian religions, and a bunch of them had similar stories to each other, and they would fight with one another about whose god was better, and eventually, to consolidate all of these groups and kind of almost mesh them all together into like a Mesopotamian empire of sorts. All these religions, these ancient Mesopotamian religions, are kind of consolidated together to like monotheistic type of tradition that are it is the roots of Judaism. But in all honesty, like if you really look into the ancient roots of Christianity, there's a lot of bifurcation after Christ's death and after the martyring of the apostles. So what I've done is I've just looked at everything and I've said, well, you know, I've also looked into the deep, into the abyss of the mind and soul, and really examined this question. And I've come to certain conclusions, regardless of whether or not other people think those things or not. Those are the conclusions I've come to.
So look, what you have just described, which is the perfect definition for all of this Jewish sodomite magic shit that you do, it's
Oh,
literal.
hold on a second,
Man,
dude. Wait a
hold
second.
on, hold on. Wait, 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 wait,
One
wait,
at a
wait.
time. One at a time.
But no, he's making
No,
accusations that he doesn't have any
sir,
proof for.
sir,
No,
sir.
Jake, I'll give
All
you
right,
ample time
hang on, guys.
to rebut.
We're gonna do this one at a time. I know it might be a little offensive, but let's just please give each other some space. Thank you.
well, no. This is what you have to understand.
Silence, whippersnappers. All right, so go ahead.
Should I go?
Well,
No,
hold on a second.
if I may,
Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
I didn't come in here to like be grilled and answer questions. I don't have to fucking answer anybody. Okay. So I'm being nice. All right. And I'm trying to be respectful. So if you're gonna start saying that I practice sodomy, sex magic and shit without knowing me, then I consider that disrespectful. And I wouldn't do that to you. I'm not making accusations about your personal life that I don't know. So I will show mutual respect. Otherwise, I will leave. And
Thank
that will
you.
be the way that this goes.
Jake, can I ask you a
Can,
question?
can I just ask one
I have a
question?
question for Jake, if
Go
you
ahead.
don't mind, Jake.
Sure. And just to
Um,
answer his question from earlier, my earrings, my gauges are spiral buffalo horn. Okay. And I put them in my ears because there's something called the Fibonacci spiral. If you look into the Fibonacci spiral, that you might understand something like next level about dimensions and the way that life works. And that's why I have the spiral earrings and why it's a buffalo horn. It's because of for obvious reasons. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tisha.
thank you,
Can,
Jake. All right, so you're an actor, right? Because that's
No,
online
I'm not an
already.
actor. No, I'm not an actor.
So someone fabricated that stuff
No,
online
this is
that
what
you're an
happened.
actor?
Listen. I've explained this several times, but I'll explain it to your audience because I know there's people that don't know and haven't heard. Okay. So I was working with kids in group homes for 6.5 years. And in all that time, I became very good at my job, but that also made my job very difficult because the kids I was working with were teenage boys, in many cases, who either left abusive homes or just got out of juvenile detention centers. And they viewed me kind of like a cop. Okay. So they didn't like me. They didn't like the fact that I enforced the rules. Okay. So that being said, my job was very difficult for 6.5 years. I decided to leave that job when a young man that was 16 years old, about 5'9", 250 pounds, big kid, chased me around the house with a knife, like threatening to stab me while I'm on the phone with the police. Okay. And then the group home system, and the police wanted to bring this kid back to the house. And thankfully, the owner of the group home said, "That's insane. He just chased my staff around with a knife. There's no way." And what I came to realize was that if I chose